Welcome to Bude TV. Today we are going to be discussing topic on COVID-19. My name is Pauline Mwangi. Joining me here with me is Mr. Richard. And without further ado, I would like to welcome you. Richard, you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Richard Bude.
So if you followed us on our last conversation, we were talking about the COVID-19. So today we are going to talk about COVID-19 and the impact, the effect, and the lockdown and vaccine. So where do you see us beginning? Like, what have been the experiences with the African low-income and people of color when it comes to the COVID-19 impact?
Yeah, what I'm just going to talk about with regard to this is going to be very brief, because when you are talking about COVID-19 as of now, as it affects the general populace, whether it's the African community, the Asian community, the Indians, the Chinese, just mention it.
Yes.
It's going to take forever. So we cannot continue to talk about it every day, because we don't know when it's going to go away, but it's going to go away sometimes, because there have always been a pandemic. They've come and they've gone, and they find a way around it. So the impact of this COVID-19 that I would actually like to talk about is the effect it has on the continent of Africa.
Yes.
Yeah, so the continent of Africa is impacted in one particular way. There's similarity in everything. With that, I'm mostly talking about the vaccine, because it's not produced in Africa.
Yes.
So, but they're going to be getting vaccine. Every country that produces this thing will be finding a way to ship everything, whatever they have, to Africa. But the point is, what type of vaccine are they shipping to Africa?
Good question.
And then what are African leaders going to do about accepting the vaccine they are being shipped to? So those are the things that we have to look at, and that's the impact, the far greater impact they're going to get when that thing hits, if they get the wrong one. And who says they're not going to get vaccine? They're going to get, but the point is, what are they going to get? What are they going to put in their arms?
I like your perspective, and I like that you are bringing the issue that it's not going to be developed or produced in Africa. So what makes you think that Africa will get a different vaccine, maybe from Pfizer, which I think it's and Moderna, the two, that then they're not going to get the same thing, even though they're not producing it themselves, the Africans?
Yeah, that's the problem, because we don't produce. We can't get this thing done by ourselves in that continent. Although there are African doctors who are part of this vaccine manufacturing, some of the scientists behind it, if you are aware of, a lot of them are blacks. But the point is, the vaccine itself, when things are being shipped to Africa, what are the things that are being shipped? Are they the genuine one, the good one, the real one? So it's we know that continent is a dumping ground for so many things.
I like the way you are being very precise without beating around the bush. I could agree with you for some things, but I think that's why we have human rights, where why would another country that, since it's producing something, would develop something that would be lethal to other people? So I'm thinking the human rights is going to be making sure that whoever is producing this vaccine, they are all playing in the same level ground, even though Africa doesn't produce it.
Yeah, no, that's true. Right from time, everything we have never done everything in the same playing field. So like I said, if you go to Africa, for example, let me just give an example, or two examples. You see that for example, in Nigeria, what they call the okirika, the used clothes that people use it as a business here.
Right.
They ship all these things to Africa. So those are items that are used.
Is it like the second clothes?
Yeah, second-hand clothes that have been used.
Yes.
The same thing with computers. Back then, you see.
And I know most of the country refused that. I know you, and I can speak for Kenya. You can't ship any computer that are old, but yes, it was used as dumping because sometimes these computers are so outdated. Even when they get to where they have been shipped, they might not be able to deliver the work. And where do they end? In the field. And Africa, again, we don't have those dumping, very well organized dumping places. So I agree with you, but I think you're explaining to me why that trust is already been broken.
Yeah, I just use that as an example in the sense that this vaccine we are talking about, yes, they're going to ship these items to Africa. At some point, it will be everywhere in Africa.
I remember there's a lot of, sorry to cut you short, there's a lot of challenge with this vaccine because here it has to be transported in a refrigerated containers, and the quality of it, if it gets off the containers, it reduces, and I think it cannot be used. So thinking about Africa, not only just getting what we don't know what we're getting, we also challenged with having these other resources like shipping it safely. And
that's the point. See, when you have these items being shipped to a place where the destination, people in that destination don't even know what it is about, the process and all these things, then they just take what they get. If, for example, these things are supposed to be in a refrigerated container to minus 100 degrees Fahrenheit,
yes,
and then they ship it to Africa anyway at 50,
yes,
which in normal circumstances that's supposed to be a bad product, but just because it is there,
and it's
they will be glad that they got it. They say, "Oh, vaccine has come, but it has failed. It will not be used in this part of the world." So it's more or less like a double grant.
And I think I support your point of view because remember we also have greedy leaders who, when it gets there, they do not, like the way some people here we would say we are privileged. The government will make sure that the product it passes the standards. But in Africa, people will be like, you have to accept it's coming from abroad. You guys should be thankful that you even have it in your land.
Yeah, it is. It's so pathetic in the sense that even though I'm not saying this is what is going to happen. But,
of course, yeah. It's a conversation.
It's a conversation.
Foreseeable things.
Yeah, it has happened before.
Especially shipping.
Yeah, it has happened before. We know that. We know all these things. So we're not ignorant of these things. I think for me the bottom line is when these items are being shipped to you in good faith. Let's assume that's in good faith.
Yes.
And even they present it as being done in good faith, but behind
or donations.
Yeah, but behind the whole thing, it's not in good faith. They're just looking for a place to dump these items, and then they go and meet all these leaders who are corrupt, and then they are bribed, and then those bribed politicians or leaders, they want to present it to their citizens. So I've been able to do it. I'm able to bring vaccine to my country. Now everybody has to get it. You got to get it free, but actually, these leaders or this so-called leader that got these things, they are aware that this is not a good product.
So they won't inject it to themselves.
Yeah, so they don't care because they know that they are making money off it, and they present it to the people that they are at least have been vaccinated. Meanwhile, they are getting the wrong one. Again, what I'm trying to buttress here is that I'm not saying the items that the vaccine that will be shipped to Africa will be bad ones.
Yes.
I'm saying that they also have to be smart enough to understand that what about if they are bad ones? What about they are not the good ones? What if there's a motive behind this item being shipped to Africa? Are they able to identify it without being bribed, without being they playing politics with this? Because I say, for example, if a leader, if Uhuru Kenyatta in Kenya, for example, want to tell the Kenyans that, oh, you know what, I'm able to supply vaccine to my countries, to my citizens, and everybody will be talking about, oh, Kenyatta finally did it. He brought vaccine, but is the vaccine good? For him, he has pleased you, but for you, you've been pleased, but for him, he's been making money off it. But I'm not saying that in this case he did. I'm just using that as an example. This applies to all the leaders in Africa. Would they be so open enough to say, no, we want it, or we don't want, or we want to see things for ourselves, we want to inspect it by ourselves. We have qualified scientists, we have qualified doctors who will say this vaccine are good. Because you can bring all this vaccine and you bring the same vaccine bottle, compare it to the one that is given to them in the US or in the developed world, and you look at it, say, oh, they are the same.
Yes.
But it could be coded. But it could be coded with a number that you not know that is not a good one.
Yeah.
So those are the things that we are talking about.
And the way you also mentioned that it could be due to that transportation. Let's say, for example, even when you're transporting milk, if you don't put it in the right way path, by the time you get to the destination, it's not going to be milk. It might be yogurt in a way that it's not the correct way should be drunk, and with all the other things that goes the bad bacteria. So I get your point, and it's a very valid point.
If you are shipping items, if you are shipping milk, for example, to a developed world, let's say, for example, milk is coming from Australia, and it's even from Australia to Canada, for example, and it did not meet the criteria. For example, it came under the required temperature, the degree of temperature. Automatically, you are not going to be told. You are not. The Canadians will tell you, or the person in charge will tell you. They know that they are not going to get that. They don't want that anymore because they've seen there's a mistake. But if, for example, it's being sent to Africa, they don't want to know whether it is done. The temperature at a below temperature that is not supposed to be consumed. The fact that even Africans themselves who are in that business, they don't care. They just ship the whole thing.
But are you blaming? Let's also be realistic. Why would we be blaming people who are willing to give? Are we African lazy to do this kind of research and investigation, or are we this greedy that we don't care about our own people? That, as you gave a very good demonstration, like when it comes here, they realize. In fact, I also foresee that the person who's shipping, they are going to let the person who's receiving it, like, we can't even give you this goods. So, what do you see the challenge for us for the African leaders, the elite who are able to verify those kind of information, or what can we do? What can we do better? You use the word greediness. It's a mentality of I don't understand. It's hard to explain. It's just broad. This is what is happening everywhere. We talk about for example, plastic rice or whatever they call it that time, rubber rice or whatever, plastic rice that was coming all the way from China and things like that. That would be shipped to Africa. So who is in the business of shipping these items? They are rich people, big business people. So they have money and they involve themselves in shipping plastic rice to their citizens. But they will not consume it, but they will ship it because of their greed. They want to make money, but putting people's life in jeopardy. They don't care. So people like that, when you have people like that in the helm of leadership in the continent, and they're in charge of this vaccine like this, and you are shipping items through them, because they're going to make money, and they know that this item, if it is below certain temperature level, it's no longer good, but because they are there to make money, they will ship it to Africa anyways, and then when it comes, they will present it to everybody that they'll be able to do this. Meanwhile, they know actually that this is not a good thing. So it boils down to
who we are or who our mentality. If those things don't change, we continue to consume what is given to us. So yes, they are bringing it to us to
So
consume.
who
So we
taught
be able to
us?
fight it.
Who did we learn this kind of behavior from?
Yeah, this it's our gene.
No, I disagree with that, because I think if we can go really back before the colonial, people loved each other. People were a community, and but when the issue of the money and the exchange of wealth that it brings and the luxury, it's something Western. It's not something African. And I think we have gone in a way where we don't think about each other. We are thinking about what's going to be there for me and my family. And it's very, very sad. I do hope one day we will be able to change this. But it's not in our DNA.
Well, that's another topic to talk about when it comes down to,
Or another topic I know we could be bringing up is about the religion, because I think African, we are praying very well. That's why we have not been having big numbers as most developed country, which are able to even afford sanitizing material, sanitizing liquids, having more spaces. And Africa might not have that. So I think we are prayerful, and we should bring that topic about religion and
I think
the impact.
The bottom line is, just before we go, I just want to quickly let everybody know that yes, here comes COVID-19.
Yes.
And that the whole world has to deal with.
And it's here to stay.
So it will go away, but the point is we have to all find a way around it. The African community, the black community, have to find a way to make sure they don't continue to be victim of this virus, because one way or the other, if they don't deal with it very well, if you have stupid leaders who will just get their citizens into trouble,
so
that's what it is.
You heard it from Mr. Richard. We should improve us as human beings, and our next conversation might be around that religion and greediness, and more topic on this vaccine and COVID-19. Thank you so much for your time and being with us. Do you have any final words before then?
Just don't forget to subscribe.
Yes. We are on YouTube.
And click on the notification bell so that you can get notified when we get when we upload a video. So until next time, take care of yourself and each other.
Thank you. And continue to sanitize, stay home, and stay safe. From us here, Bude TV, talking for you.
Bye-bye.